Alexa, set timer 20 minutes. Hello, I'm back again. I wanted to show you, show you a few things. First, I wanted to show you my show and tell. I did finish these cards from the other day with my leaf clusters that I had made. And I just added some pearlies and a little bumblebee and a little word. And these are for seniors, for the senior cards. Another cluster, more bling and bumblebee and a hello. Hope this card makes you smile, or hope this makes you smile. Another cluster. I love the way this came out with just the little pearlies going around. And on the inside too. I just had these little pieces left, so I just decorated the insides to match with them. So, and another cluster. So I made those, so I can put those in my box. Alrighty, and then I ended up making this because I've been making using my cardstock strips, the scraps, and then what I do is I punch them out into different shapes. So these are these were on the back of the cash register receipts. I taped them to that, and then I just punched them out into different shapes, and I have an extra little piece that I'm saving so I can use it on a border somewhere. You can see I use some here, and this is what it looks like before I cut it all up or punch it out. Then I made these circles, and I just cut the circles in half and lined them up and created a border going around this card. I thought that came out kind of cute. That would be a good scrapbook page too. Good scrapbook page idea, or even for a journal. You could use any shapes. Oh, and then I made a whole stack of these that I believe I showed them to you already, but I put a little word, remember, and I actually put a verse on here. So this card is ready to go. That's going to the seniors too. Alrighty, so I showed you these. And stuff like this, I just have my scrap goodie box that I just kind of throw these type of things in. Alrighty, so another thing I did also was I had a piece of scrap paper that I had written all over, and so I pulled out my binding strips and just glued them down here to make another sheet that I can either trim it up. I can either do punches out of it, or I can use it for a card front. So just another way to use these binding strips up, or the thin skinny strips. So that one's ready to be made. Punched out a whole bunch of these, and these are just out of cardstock and out of the decorative paper. And I like this shape for card fronts. It makes it real easy to throw stuff on. And sometimes I like to do this and run it through a folder, and then cut another die cut out of the middle, and then I can do this. I can make it into a little picture frame, or even if I have decorative paper to put behind it, then I could put behind something like this, or on top of something like this, just to show off the pretty decorative paper. So I like to do that. So that's something I like to do with my scrap papers, is cut them to different shapes and things like that so I can use them later. Another thing I've done is I took this just construction paper that the kids had used on one side of it, so it's marked up on the side that's covered up, and they were going to throw it away, and I said no, save it for me, I can still use it. So I just cut strips of cardstock and just glued them right down. I actually took the pieces of scraps and turned them upside down and taped them all together, and then I cut them to size and then glued them onto the cardstock, or to the construction paper rather, and they came out really pretty. I love this. That's the mandalas that my daughter likes to color. So these are all card fronts ready to just throw on the front of cards, so that's good. And I actually put these two together, or started to put two of these. So these are ready to just embellish for cards. I pulled out my hexagon punch and punched out a whole bunch of hexagons, and I like to glue them onto paper first, and then I can attach it to a card. And this black I think is my favorite. I really like the black background behind it. These ones just have the same cardstock color behind it, and then I glued it on to the card front. And this was a little bit darker cardstock that I glued all the little hexagons on. But don't they come out pretty? I really like that. So these are cards with card fronts on them already that are ready to be embellished and go on. Alrighty, so now I have this box next to me of scraps that I want to go through, and I want to kind of go through my process of what I do with how I arrange my scraps. So the first thing I like to do is, it looks like you haven't set up any home kit accessories. I like to do this. I like to cut them. If I have 12 by 12s, then I immediately cut them down to 6 by 6 size, because I don't do scrapbooking. I used to many years ago, but I no longer. And so any of my 12 by 12 books that I have, or usually I receive them from other people, the ones that they're not using, the pages, like my mother-in-law will save hers for me, then I cut them into 6 by 6 squares, because this is a lot less intimidating for me. A 12 by 12 sheet, it's like having a fresh piece of fabric. I have a really hard time cutting into it. But the 6 by 6, I feel a lot more inclined to, and safe and comfortable to cut this up into pieces. So that's my first cut, is I cut all the 6 by 6 squares out. And I have a box with those in. The next thing I do is I cut out card fronts. And so card front size. And so these are just all 4 1/4, or 4 by 5 1/4 rather. So, and those go directly on the front of a card, or sometimes I even cut these down, depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I will leave, I got kind of tired when I was doing those, and I left some of them longer. These ones are the 4 inches by 6 instead of the 5 1/4, because I thought, a lot of times I like to cut that 1 inch off and then use that on the inside of the card or on the envelope to make it match. So that's what I did with these ones. So these are ready to play with. Alrighty. The next size I like is this size here. These sizes. These are, I forget, I think these are 4 1/2 by 3 by 4 1/2. Okay, so I've got some that size that I threw in there. These are just the paint swatches, and then these are all trading card size here. And I really enjoy playing with the trading cards. I like to make trading cards, because when I'm making trading cards, I can either make 10 on a sheet, which I'll do sometime for a video, or I just make 1 at a time. And something that I really like to do with the trading cards also is I have albums that I keep trading cards. And what I do is, my friend and I both, when we're making cards, if we come up with a card that we really like and we want to make it again, then we'll make a little mini version of it, the trading card size, which is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, and then we'll put it in the notebook to save them. So that way we'll remember what we made. And that's a lot of fun to go back through. So, alrighty, so that's another size that I like to cut, and you can see that one's pretty full. Alright, then after that, then those are the only actual sizes that I keep specifically. After that, then I do have just scraps, which is, my scrap box is getting very full right now. So it's getting way too full for me. I don't feel comfortable at being this full. So what I do first is I have a white and black box, which the black goes in there. And then, oh, those are gonna get stuck underneath. And then I do have some white scraps that I like to keep in there. I guess I can put that this way. So as I'm pulling out white or black, then I can throw those all in here. Alrighty. And then that I set aside. Then the next thing I do is I have, oh my, whoops, got some other stuff in here that I don't need to have in here. carried away throwing stuff in here. Alrighty, well, we'll see what it is in just a few minutes here. Alrighty, so cardboard that can go up with the white scraps because I like to use that. More cardboard. These are little tiny strip. Oops, here's another stack that I had cut. Those are all card fronts. Alrighty. These are all paper. Alright, oh, okay. Yeah, these are paper and cardstock, but, well, packaging. That's cardboard. But I consider that a scrap. Alright. So, let's see what else I have in here. Ooh, the gold doesn't belong in here. All these more cardboard. 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 Alrighty. We're getting down there now. Okay, I think this is all just scrap now. Yep, I believe so. Alright, perfect. Very good. Okay. So, whoops, there's more black down there. Black needs to go in with black and white paper. The black I like to use as layering, so I usually save that. And if I have this pretty navy, then sometimes I'll use that for layering. Alrighty. Oops, more white. Good thing I'm doing this. Alrighty. So now, and I've got these negatives that I've shown you already that I need to use with strips. So when I get more strips, then I gotta use those in. The gold and silver I like to keep separate because I use that to fancy up things. So it's like glitter paper to me. So I like to keep that together right here on the side of my desk. Alrighty. So now the rest of this is just, let me get this out of my way. It's just actual scrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out some of my larger punches and I'll show you my process of what I do with them. Let's see. And this oval. Okay. So this oval, I really like this. This is so old. I've had it for years. It's an old Marvy one. So what I like to do is take that back off and then just try to cut out as many as I can. So going through here. Oh, I found a little scrap in here. This is another thing I do with the black and white. Is when I get down to the little dinky tiny pieces of paper, then I actually mount them on either white or black cardstock, and then I make these little borders out of them to put on cards. So, alrighty, so let's go through this box and see if I can cut anything. This brown paper bag I'm going to put with the black and white because that's what I'm using it for right now. Alrighty. There's some paper scraps too, which I'll get to. Alright, this I don't think, is that, no, that's not wide enough, okay. But I just made, this one is, oops, I should see if I, is it wide? Yes it is, okay, good. Perfect. That'd be pretty on this. That's pretty. I like that. Okay. Can I get one more? Maybe? No. Oh, poop. I should have moved it down a little bit. Don't think it'll fit now. Yes, it will. Dude, awesome. There's just enough. Okay. One more. Woohoo! Yay me. Awesome. Okay. Come on out. Don't tear. I want to use you. Yes, I talked to myself. Alright, good. Alright, so there's two of those. This can go back in here. This I will definitely cut out because that's really pretty. I wonder if it'll fit this way. Is it wide enough? No, just barely, but that's okay. We'll turn it over and do it this way. Alrighty, there's another one. That's pretty. Put that back in the box. It's just creating more scraps, I know, but at least this way I can use all of these on card fronts. I like to do that. Okay, that's pretty. That's a tissue box. Wonder how that'll punch. It should punch on here. I've done tissue boxes before. There it goes. That's pretty. All right, that's paper, paper, paper. Okay, that's actual paper, so that's too thin to go through a punch. That's wrapping paper. So that's too thin, that's too thin. That's all wrapping paper. So that's going to have to be cut into strips and used. That's wrapping paper. These are coloring pages, but you know what? I think I'm going to save that for strips too. This, I'm going to have to keep it like that. All right. Oh, gosh, I made that years ago too. This is, I had punched out some balloons, as you can see, and I just put it in clear contact paper, and I made it so that I can put it in behind a negative. Isn't that fun? It's because you can see through it. So that's what that's for. So that's ready to go. That's an actual card front ready to go. So I'll put that in my card front box. Alrighty. So that tiger eye, that's so cool. Maybe I should save that for a card front. Alrighty. This. You know what? I know I'm going to put something over this, so yeah, I'm going to cut it anyways, because I know I'll cover that up. There, that'll go in this pile. And that's a pretty negative, so I'll save that. That's actually a cardstock front, so we'll save that. Alrighty. These are manila envelopes. I love the way these look. So what I do with my punches when after I separate all of my papers and I get down to these sizes, as I'm cutting out my scraps, then I start from the biggest punches and then just work my way down. So, or if I have die cuts, which I do have, but tonight I'm just going to work on my punches because I know these ovals I'm kind of running short on, so this will help me out. Really pretty. I wonder if that'll fit on there. It might tear though. I hope it works. It did. Good. It's so delicate. This came for my insurance company. It's just junk mail, but that's really pretty. I'm glad I was able to get that out. And there's a strip here that I can cover up those words, and I can use that strip too, so that'll be nice. Alrighty, whoops, this one. Getting a lot of this color for the windows, or for the layers, but that's okay. That'll be pretty. Oh, and I wanted to show also, this one's a little crinkled. So because it's crinkled, what I do is I either throw it through an embossing folder or just go ahead and stick it through my crimper, because then it gets rid of all the wrinkles and just turns it into crimped. So if you have anything that's wrinkled and you're sad because it's such pretty paper and you don't want to waste it, then just throw it through your crimper. Alrighty, it's a boy, it's a girl. Better save those words. Another piece. That's kind of fun to see. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Alright, that's paper. Ooh, there's some pretty Alexa off. So another one. Some more. Guess that means 20 minutes is up, so I'll finish this one up. And then I'll have to do another video. Alrighty. Alright, so that's what we got done for today. Some punched out images. That's fun. So I've got all these now, and I've got all these. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Until we meet again, happy scrapping.